Whether you are newly leveled to 90, a returning player, or just looking for ways to gear extra jobs, this guide will cover the process of gearing up a level 90 job from a starting gear set with a casual path to item level 660, and including alternative options and savage paths. In this guide, I will assume the best gear you have might be as weak as the job armor set handed to you by the MSQ itself, and perhaps some accessories randomly picked up on the way, meaning your average item level may be as low as 560 or less. Your first task will be to get an item level 640, shorthanded to I-640, gear set. To do this, simply purchase a high-quality crafted set of armor, accessories, and weapon from the market board. Now, you might say, I can't afford that, which is fair. There are many ways to make some gear in Final Fantasy XIV, but a lot of them have the prerequisite that you have something, which can make it hard to know what you can do for certain. Doing content as a level 90 job tends to give you tomestones of causality, which will serve two primary purposes in our gearing journey. For that reason, if you have different, reliable guild making methods on hand, I recommend using those instead and keep your causality. If not, go to the NPC Chihanti in Ratsatan and choose the Tomestone of Causality Other category. The 6 materials that cost 20 tomestones are used for the most recent crafted gear and so sell quite well for a decent price. You can either buy a mix of materials and sell them for an average profit, or try to figure out what gives the most profit and focus on that. Either way, this can serve as your way to make some starting gear for a crafted combat gear set. Note that you can tell that a piece of crafted equipment is high quality by the golden flash in the icon and the little flourish at the end of its name. Normal quality equipment has around 10% less stats and is generally considered a mistake to use at max level. It is important for future steps that you specifically get crafted gear. However, if it is taking a while for the guild to come in, an alternative, cheaper path is to get enough crafted gear that your average item level is at least 615. I recommend prioritizing weapon, then one ring, and then whatever's cheapest. After this, you can farm P9 to 12 for tokens to buy I-640 equipment. This includes only one ring and no weapon. However, this equipment cannot be upgraded, hence why crafted gear is viewed as superior. Once you have gotten a starting gear set of I-640, we move on to I-650 equipment. Here we have some options. The first one is weekly tomestones. The tomestones of comedy allow you to purchase around one I-650 piece of equipment a week. Notably, this equipment can be further upgraded to I-660 later, so this is quite important to collect. Make sure to grab the pieces with good stats for your job first, and then make your way down to worse pieces as you go. If you are a Savage Raider following a best in slot list, make sure to grab the pieces on the list first before branching out. Casual players can also make use of a best in slot list as a starting point if they like. Take note that the ring bought for these tomestones is unique, just like the one from the normal raid, so you can have only one unless you upgrade it, in which case you could use both an I-660 version and an I-650 version. The second option is the final alliance raid of Endwalker. This drops I-650 armor, and you can get one piece a week, allowing you to accumulate 5 pieces over time. These armor pieces cannot be upgraded however, so they might not be worth the hassle on their own. The third, and ultimately easiest option is to simply augment crafted gear. At the NPC Rashti in Ratsatan, you can buy Divine Rain for Causality tomestones. You can also exchange crafted gear for Hanish certificates of grade 3 import. With a combination of these items in hand, you can purchase augmented crafted gear at I-650. Casual players may find it particularly helpful to acquire a weapon and at least one ring, as the weekly tomestones will only provide one upgradable ring and will, at least for now, not provide any means to upgrade a weekly tomestone weapon, and so a crafted I-650 weapon will be just as good and significantly cheaper. An alternative weapon option is to do the newest Extreme, which drops I-655 weapons. However, while perhaps not outright savage raiding, may still be considered out of reach from many casual players. While working on your I-650 equipment, you can start on the final step, which is I-660 equipment. Unless you are savage raiding, your options here are limited by your weekly tomestones. Completing the newest alliance raid will drop a coin once per week, which, in combination with the 2 previous alliance raids coins, can be exchanged for an item that can be used to upgrade the weekly tombstone equipment from I-650 to I-660, meaning 1 upgrade per week. In addition to this, open world hunt targets like the guild ship hunt board in Shadowbringers and Endwalker, and the semi-randomly spawning hunt targets in these regions grant sacks of nuts. The guild ship hunt vendor in Sharlayan sells Divine Twine and Divine Shine for 3,000 and 2,000 sacks of nuts respectively, which are the items used to upgrade armor and accessories respectively. As these randomly spawning hunt marks don't have a weekly lockout, this does allow you to farm sacks of nuts as much as you are able to participate in such hunts, meaning it will be possible to upgrade all of your tombstone gear eventually. The hunt board in the Crystarium and Sharlayan show predictably spawning targets, which have a daily or weekly lockout, so you can safely hunt these when they're presented as your target. For the more lucrative hunts, each region of the player base have slightly different approaches to the concept known as hunt trains, which essentially involve players doing things to force the specific hunt targets to spawn, and then groups are made to hunt them in quick succession, like a train. If you want to participate in this, I highly advise that you look into how your region approaches hunt trains, as sometimes the exact methods and schedules can vary even between data centers. I'm told Light and Chaos of Europe have distinctly different communities managing, just as an example. On top of this, please do be respectful when participating in these hunt trains, as setting up these hyper-efficient farming sessions takes a lot of work from a lot of people, so if the hunt train leader says wait, then wait. Additionally, if you do intend to use nuts, prioritize buying shine with nuts and twine with the alliance raid coins, as the coins can buy the twine and shine equally well, while the shines are vastly cheaper for nuts. Your final target as a casual player will be a full I-660 armor set, I-660 accessories, except for one ring which can be either a tombstone ring at 650 or an augmented crafted ring at I-650 depending on stat preferences. This is then finished with an I-650 augmented crafted weapon. Once this point is reached, the best you can do is prepare a relic weapon for when this can be upgraded to I-665, or start on the current extreme, or savage rating to go further beyond. First, for the relic weapon, you need to complete all of the Hildebrand story. It's quite long. After that, you can buy an I-615 relic weapon for 1,500 Causality tombstones, and then this can be upgraded to I-630 and I-645 for 1,500 more tombstones each step. As of right now, the crafted weapon is considered better for most if not all jobs. However, the relic weapons will become better in a later patch, so it may be worth investing in nonetheless. Next, if you do decide to go further beyond, the current Extreme offers I-655 weapon drops. And the Savage raid bosses themselves drop I-660 equipment, with the final boss of the raid tier, P12S, dropping I-665 weapons, which will only be bested by the relic weapons once they become further upgradable in a future patch. If you do plan to Savage raid, it may be helpful to look into a best in slot list, so you know which pieces of equipment to focus on if given the choice. Furthermore, P11S drops the item necessary to upgrade the I-650 tombstone weapons, and should you get your hands on these, they may be worth the investment. If you're not sure how to get started on Savage raiding, which is optional of course, I have a starter guide which should equip you enough to know what to do. And that is pretty much the path from a newly level 90 job to the peak of power in Endwalker as of right now. In summary, pick up a high quality crafted gear set. Start working on collecting weekly tombstone equipment, starting with the pieces with better stats for your job of choice. Work on augmenting your crafted armor set and upgrade the weekly tombstone equipment as you can, with at least one piece per week through the Alliance Raid token. To get there, your weekly to-do list should look like this. Collect your 450 weekly tombstones. As an example, this can be done by doing a daily expert roulette once a day 5 times a week. Do the newest Alliance Raid once. If you for any reason want the I-650 tombstone weapons, then make sure to do the normal version of the normal raid encounter P12 once a week. As while everything else from the raid has no weekly lockout on normal, the blade necessary to buy the special tombstones to buy the tombstone weapon does have a once a week limit. If you need tombstones of Causality, either to make guild to purchase crafted gear, or to upgrade your crafted gear, or to purchase and upgrade relic weapons, you can fill the rest of your week with farming Causality. After this, you can supplement your gearing with hunt trains for sacks of nuts, or do the extreme trial for a new i655 weapon, or work on savage raiding, but these are of course optional. Now, that is all for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to support me and my channel, you can let the YouTube algorithm know by liking the video, leaving a comment, subscribing and hitting the bell to get notified when next I post a video. And if you want to give even more support than that, you can also become a member of the channel like these wonderful people here. Fun fact, unaugmented crafted gear can be overmelded. This means you can force slightly more substats into the gear through materia. There have been times where unaugmented equipment has been viewed as superior due to this advantage, compared to the augmented version. However, these days the power difference between them is such that typically the augmented version is significantly superior and the cost of overmelding is just not worth it.